Dear viewers, welcome to another video. And I'm very happy to have Aswad once again because we're going to talk about success on IELTS. So let's learn from Aswad about the success that he achieved from the recent test. Hello Shuba, how are you today?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm also fine. Thanks for asking. You look terrific. I'm so happy to see you like this. And by your smiling face, I can say that you're pretty happy about your achievement. I know what you scored in IELTS in recent exam, but I want to hear and I want our audience to learn from you. Okay, what's your score?
Well, my score is 7.5. So if I talk about my individual result in every modules, then I have gotten 8 in speaking as expected, and I have gotten 8 in listening. And
That was also expected.
yeah, that was too expected because I was very great at speaking and listening part. A reading part was a little tough, and I have got a 7.5, and which I was really worried about my writing module. I expected a 7, but I got 6.5. So overall, I have gotten 7.5.
Overall 7.5, particularly in listening 8, speaking 8, in reading 7.5, and in writing 6.5. In reading 7.5 is it's okay. We can accept that. But for writing 6.5, that is very unexpected. Was there any mismanagement before the test?
Well, actually, I was always worried about this module because I haven't had so much practice in writing. Beside, in my study curriculum, from my background, I have seen many students suffer from writing because the Cambridge style and our country style writing are totally different.
Yeah.
So they don't match. So, the way they arranged their words in the sentence, the way they use the complex sentences, these are very hard to be expertise
Cope up with
within a really short time. And to mention, I have only prepared for myself for IELTS 3 months, and before with you, I have prepared myself 3 months. It was the perfect attachment from January to March, and I sat for the exam April. And before that, I practiced reading and listening for 2 months. So as expected, I got a good score in those modules.
Would you like to share your experience when you studied yourself before making the attachment with me that took place in the beginning of January? Before that, you prepared yourself based on my suggestion that you buy books and you study yourself. I remember that I told you over the phone, you do your stuff, then I will bring you to my place in January. So 3 months, and primarily for yourself, you yourself did 2 months. Try to find any difference between these two periods, 3 months period that was with me and yourself 2 months. Is there any difference if one?
Obviously, there are a lot of differences. When I was preparing my own, I felt comfortable practicing the speaking test because I was always an expert in it. Because I'm from practice reading, because reading was new to me. I saw that there are many new words which I haven't heard of. There were too many complex words, too many vocabularies, so I had to learn them. And I also noticed a lot of complex sentences in reading part, especially the passage 3. So I practiced those, and those really helped me through the 2 months period. And I practiced listening a lot. And beside practicing the Cambridge book, I also watched a lot of movies and series without subtitles.
This really helped you fix up your accent.
Yeah, it actually better if you watch them without subtitles. If you watch them with subtitles, then it's
Even when I met you first time in person, I was impressed by your accent. It wasn't pure British, but it was very close to that. I was pretty happy. I remember I told you, you gotta do something nice in speaking. So actually, my target was for you to get 9, but unfortunately, you got 8, but that is also acceptable, very acceptable, because it was only 3 months preparation. And I guess in Ramadan, because Ramadan came up, takes up
1 month.
Yeah. so fast? And you got a little bit lacking, being lazy because we're fasting and all that.
Well, I tried to get the exam date before Ramadan, but it wasn't possible. The schedule was not right, and I would have very little time for practice. So I had to practice while fasting, and the last days of practicing, those were really hard. But I didn't really focus on writing that time. I focused completely on speaking because I thought I would get a 9 in speaking. I expected 8, and I have got it. And there are other things like for reading part, I was weak in passage 3, so I had to practice that. But I really ignored the writing part, especially the task 1. I noticed that I can write writing task 2 very well. Like within 250 words, I can write very easily. I can put an argument on a topic. But in writing task 1, I had this one weakness, which is I used too many words, but the word limit is 150. And obviously my information were irrelevant. And in most of the times, I couldn't put a proper conclusion.
Okay, in that case, I would like to remind you of one thing. I told you from the beginning that the threshold we practice writing, that doesn't actually comply with the standard of Cambridge University management.
Yeah.
And most important thing about writing is actually you'll have to learn a lot of vocabularies, and at the same time, you have to practice a lot.
Well,
I think you had a little bit lacking in terms of practicing writing part.
yeah,
That component actually becomes tough for you once you don't practice. You have to practice writing more than listening, speaking, and any other competence, because writing actually comes with the brain.
Yeah, and actually brainstorming, it requires a lot of time because we need
So, did you like to differentiate the writing with other components? How does it differ with that?
the other components in case of writing, we need to write everything from our own. We only get a chart or bar chart in writing task 1 or a line graph. And in case of task 2, we got an argument topic and we have to write it. So everything we have to write from our own. But in case of reading, we have passage. We can read the passage, we can make a guess while answering. Same goes for listening, because we are hearing everything and we have to hear the audio. So it helps. And in case of speaking, if you have the perfect fluency, if you have a posh accent or a little good accent, perfect pronunciation, it's better if you do a phonics course. And if you understand the question even 50-50, then you can make a guess and present your answer. But in case of writing, there's no one to help, there's nothing to help, you have to do on your own. So it requires time to be expertised. And I really had another drawbacks while learning the vocabularies. I learned too many complex vocabularies and ignored the simple ones. But I heard to study Cambridge style. They used a mix of it, and mostly they put the sentence in the easiest and simplest way they can, but not using beginner levels vocabularies. They use intermediate level vocabularies.
And towards our viewers, I would like to share one thing that I learned from you. That is, based on your performance while you're practicing, while you were preparing yourself for the test. That was, you used to finish the writing before the time, before 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, 1 hour allocated for your writing, and in that case, suggestion comes up here that 20 minutes for the task 1 and 40 minutes goes for task 2. And most of the time, what I found that you finish the task 1 within 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. So if you take 15 minutes max for the task 1, then you get more time for the task 2. And in that case, you also finish the audio. So you didn't actually take how much is instead of 1 hour, you took in average 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 to 50 minutes. In the main exam,
And in that case, I would say there was overconfidence on you in the writing, because think about it. Shouldn't be struggling. So task 1 takes 20 minutes. Maybe you can finish in 15 minutes. But you you use the extra 5 minutes for task 2 as well, so that they can think wise, they can write in relaxed mood. Because you know what? Once you think like, oh, I can finish it earlier than 1 minute, over 1 hour, before the due time, but it's not good for you, because once you finished 250 words or within 2060 words, the task 2, then you think my purpose, the question requirement is set in my writing, and still I got 10-15 minutes left maybe, but I can go for it because it's gonna go over the limit.
Yeah.
My range is at least 20-50 words, but I already got 20-60 to 75 words. So my thoughts, I'm done with my arguments and everything, so I don't want to exaggerate, you know what I mean? So this is how you stop. You stop yourself. But if you can have proper distribution of the time for both of the tasks, that would be really wise thing to do. And every time I gave you the task in the pleasure test, and I realized one thing, and learned from that is, you finish very early. You don't take more than 45 minutes.
Actually, it requires a lot of practice. I mean, by practice, it doesn't mean I have to practice all day. But it requires a lot of time too. If I had practiced this writing task for 5 to 6 months, I could have got a little bit higher score, like 7 or 7.5. If you have noticed, sometimes I would get 7 in writing the mock test too. But in the main exam, the topic, the writing test 2 was very easy for me. It was about mobile phone.
But I would like to include one of the points.
Yeah.
That is, actually, you have confidence in writing. Like, oh, it's okay. It doesn't matter task 1, whether task 1 or task 2. I don't really care, because I can write anytime, any kind of topic given to me. I don't care. I can just write. You have the confidence. You are not shaking, and you never stop. But that was okay. Confidence, fine enough. But why the scope down? You finish even you take less than 1 hour and you finish both of the tasks. That's fair.
Yes.
That's really nice. But this confidence is very important. Like, doesn't matter you got a task 1 graph, table, line chart, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. And the task 2, doesn't matter what topic, what type of scientific argument or psychological argument, whatever given, you are capable of writing the paper. One thing you need to be clear, you need to be sure about that, whether you understand the topic properly, and what you write, is this with the standard of
Yes, the main
the language,
perfect standard.
with the standard language and proper vocabularies. I mean, your writing standard has to be up to the mark.
Well, 6.5 is not bad, but I have expected more.
Yeah, I always say that up to getting to 7, it's a little bit practice. We cannot say, okay, as you mentioned earlier, I can say, what you said earlier about other competency. Reading, text is given, context in front of you, more or less, if you understand 90%, you can get to a decision that which one could be answered. If you're not sure about one thing, 10% not sure about one thing, still you can have a guess. Similar thing happens in listening as well. When you hear, if you focus on that, you can understand what could be the option. And there is MCQ or fill in the gaps, whatever, you can manage. And for the speaking, a lot of resources. You go
For speaking, you just need to practice speaking.
That's it. It's not a big deal. You got a lot of resources on YouTube, Google, and for practicing the textbooks.
Yeah, there are many websites too, which
Provides
a lot of help. But writing particularly, you have to be
this has to be proved by yourself.
brings 100%.
Shouldn't we run for too many tips? There's too many tips and shortcuts. They actually lower the grade.
And overall, I would like to ask you one thing. Do you have any tips for the audience that you can share to have a good score in IELTS?
Well, yes, regular practice and consistency. And of course, you have to use the proper time management. Like, don't finish before the time, and even don't take overtime. So it depends on yourself. Take high preparations in writing. because if you're not from the English curriculum, that's definitely going to be a drop experience. So have for time in your hand and practice writing. And for speaking part, I would suggest to speak with a person. If not possible, try speaking with an artificial intelligence. That also helps. And try to give speaking mock test. And for reading and listening, reading would help if you have learned a lot of complex sentences and vocabularies. Then you can manage a really great score in reading, like 7.5 or 8 or even 8.5. Some of my friends have got 8.5. And in case of listening, I would suggest listening to music and listening to movies and watching series without subtitles.
What would you say about the accent? Because when it came, I mentioned that I was impressed, but still after that, you made a lot of progress. So in terms of fixing up the accent or be confident with British accent, what a student should do?
Well, a student can watch a lot of British movies and series. They can watch documentaries and commentaries in football and cricket. This helps. An accent, learning a British accent or American. Well, American accent, I have seen hardly an American accent in Cambridge IELTS test. So
Because they made this combination.
yeah, let's say they made the combination of from different accent in different ways. Yeah, like sometimes you got the southern area region accent. So it's better if you learn one accent, then it would help you to understand what they're saying in case of listening. And in case of speaking, interviewer may be impressed by your, your subtle and perfect pronunciation.
Right. So we're very close to the end of our video, and thanks for coming in. And one thing I would like to share finally, I'd like to know from you finally, guys, are you happy with 7.5 for in 3 months preparation?
Well, yes, because I expected a 7, but I have got 7.5 overall.
But I expected 8.
Yeah.
Didn't get to.
I thought I didn't get an 8, but I wasn't sure for writing, as I have mentioned.
So what component actually put you down?
I think the secret for my result, if I talk about it, then it's actually proper guidelines.
How confident are you now if you sit through the IELTS test again?
I'm definitely going to get an 8.
Great, definitely.
Yeah. Because I have this experience and I have no pitch.
How about getting 9? What you have to do? What you have to do if you want to get 9? How long preparation?
For getting a 9 in different modules, then I think I
Individually, 9 means no chance to have less in each module.
and I am more 8 to 10 months
You need another 10 months.
for getting an. Well, I don't target for that.
But you don't talk because what you need, the 7.5 will serve.
I just need the standard amount, standard marks.
It's really nice to have you, Aswad, to be here. And you're here now, and I'm so happy that in 3 months preparation, you got 7.5. Individually, in 2 components, you got 8 in listening and speaking. I'm so happy for that. And that's what you had in your mock test. 8, most of the time, in listening 8, speaking 8. Listening 8, speaking 8.
Those are the strongest modules.
Stronger component. Those were strongest for you. But in writing, sometimes I gave you maybe 7 few times.
Yeah, a few times I was have
7. And reading 7.5 to 8. 7.5 to 8.
Yes.
But I would say one thing, you were so happy I got everything before the test, but I warned you so many times about the writing part. So writing components put you a little bit down, but this is not the end of the world. You could try again if you want.
Yeah, I can do better.
Now you are more confident. I think with my help, you can get 8 yourself.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, within just if I practice for 1 more month, I can get an 8 and manage to get a 7.5 in writing.
That's nice to hear that. Thank you so much. Your confidence built up. It's gone really high. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aswad. Thanks for coming here. Well, maybe in the future we're gonna come back. We can sit down on another video.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming. Thanks.
thank you very much.
I appreciate and good luck for your bachelor journey.
Thank you.
Hi there, just a quick reminder. Admissions are open currently for IELTS, Spoken English, Kids English, and visa preparation courses for label A1 and A2. If you're looking to boost your English skills for academic, personal, or visa purposes, this is the right time to join us. You will find all the necessary information given with the description. You will reach out anytime if you want to, if you have any question or you want to enroll in one of the courses. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.